From the streets of Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, the opposition to the peace deal brokered by President Bola Tinubu and the political crisis in the state has moved to the courtroom. Elders in Rivers State have approached the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja to declare the purported peace agreement between the state governor, Siminalayi Fubara, and the Federal Capital Territory Minister, Nyesom Wike, as unconstitutional. They stated that the said agreement, which was signed on December the 18th, was not only illegal, but amounted to an usurpation, nullification, and undermining of the extant binding relevant provisions of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Well, joining us now to discuss developments in the state arising from the political crisis in the state is a member of the Rivers Elders Forum, Chief Asukwe Ikoawaji. Good to have you on Newsday. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, first of all, there's been a lot of criticism following the peace deal, signed by the governor and Nyesom Wike that was brokered by the president. What are your thoughts on this deal? And are you in agreement with the court case that has been instituted over this deal?
Well, the truth still remains, I'm an independent-minded person. We are not talking about a personal issue. We are talking about the issue that borders on Rivers State. And when you are talking about the issue that bordered in a state that has over 6 million people, you should have an open mind. The president is the president of the nation. He would not want anybody to do anything to jeopardize his government. He has a right to weigh into the issue of any state. But the question is, those issues the president is taking decision on, is there any constitution backing those issues? That is one. Number two, the president is not living in Port Harcourt, and I know very well, except it's hidden, that the president has no house in Port Harcourt. The president is acting on the evidence and information given to him. Who is this person giving this information and evidence to the president? Just like you go to the court will give you a judgment based on facts and evidence. Facts are not truth. Evidence are not truth. Truth is truth. So who is the person giving information to the president? So, I don't see anything wrong in the action of the president. But now the people are reacting. The president is the president of the country. He has a right to look inward into those decisions he has taken, whether anyone inflicts the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Is anyone that has a cross line with the Electoral Act? Then, there is nothing wrong for the president to withdraw what he has said, if there is anyone. But people should be able, if you are talking, be constructive in what you're saying. Don't have a closed door to yourself because it's an issue that bordered on the state.
Well said. And especially within this Yuletide season, what lessons do you think can be learned from this entire crisis that has unfolded, from the way governance is done within the state of Rivers and the way governance is done in Nigeria as a whole, where it seems there's always a powerful backer who wants to continue pulling the strings even when they have installed someone new or a new person has been elected?
Well, I will be specific. Specific in the sense that we are talking about Rivers State. The face that everybody is seeing today, you cannot say this face is a known. Nobody knows this face. I'm a politician. I'm a businessman. The issue in Rivers State today has this physical and the spiritual aspect of it. If somebody is having a problem and nobody can call you to order, then you have a problem. Watch, I will say this. Some people may not like it, but for peace to return to Rivers State, I will say this. You can't write the story of Dr. Peter Odili as a former governor of Rivers State if you don't put Chief Rufus Ada George in that story is not complete. But when Dr. Peter Odili became governor, what was the relationship between Dr. Odili and Chief Rufus Ada George, who's supposed to be his boss? The same time, you can't write the story of Chief Rotimi Amechi as a former governor of Rivers State without Dr. Peter Odili's name. Such stories are not complete. What is the relationship between Dr. Peter Odili and Rotimi Amechi while he was a governor? It comes down to Chief Ezobunwa Nyesom-Wike. You can't write the story of Chief Wike today if Amechi's name is not mentioned in that story is not complete. But what was the relationship between Chief Wike and Amechi? It's a chain reaction. If God used somebody to impact into your life and you throw the persons away, when God uses you to impact another person's life, that person will throw you away. These are truths. People are running away. Beginning from Chief Rufus Ada George, all of them have contributed their quotas as former governors of Rivers State. And they have done well. If somebody comes today and says Wike has not done well when he was a governor, my dear, I will tell you that person is a witchcraft. But because there was no causal relationship between the present and the former, if there is a causal relationship between Dr. Peter Odili and his boss, former boss, or there is a relationship between Amechi and Odili, or there is a relationship between Odili and Wike, as this crisis is coming, they have gone through that terrain. They would have been able to make impact. But because there is no existing relationship, we are like a sheep without shepherd. And that is where we find ourselves. So what I'm saying now is, there is a state in Nigeria. I'm a politician. There was a problem in that state. But the former governors see themselves and decide to come together, amend their ways. Now they are the one advising the incumbent governor. President Tinubu has so much problem. Both the one inherited and the one he's facing now. If these people has come together, they would have been able to call these people and sit with them. I don't believe in putting fuel in crisis. I believe in dialogue. Governor Wike has done very well. Now, if people are complaining for what he has done for Rivers people, which what he couldn't get in the PDP National Secretariat, he came back to Rivers State and implemented to show that what he was struggling for is right. And we from the Riverline area, we were happy with him. And I want to say this, no Riverine person will look at these things as ethnic fight. There is no ethnic fight here. For those who are talking from another state, yes, they have a right to talk, but they have so much problem in their state to manage. They should manage the problem of their state and allow Rivers State. It's not only Rivers State that is facing this. Other states are facing their own. But what I am saying now, these former governors should be able to come together, amend their ways, and they will be able to make these things work. It's not anybody that has mouth, he will run to television. Anybody that has leg, he will run to radio. It won't help us anything. It's still the same Rivers people will discuss the issue of the River State. But for Mr. President, he's the president of Nigeria. He's not president of River State. Like I said, he may take some of these decisions based on who briefed him. There is nothing also wrong. The Mr. President I know is a formidable person. There is nothing wrong for him to look at this 8-point agreement. One, the issue of impeachment. He has been able to say no more impeachment. The issue of the speaker. I'm not a lawyer, but I do know when an issue is before the law court, till the court decides, nobody gives a red beak to it. Mr. President is a product of the judiciary. Nobody believes that President Tinubu will be sitting as a president today, till the Supreme Court came up and said this is the way. And today, whether you like it or not, is the president of Nigeria. And if you don't support him today, tomorrow will be your turn. Nobody will support you. But what we are saying is, anyone that inflicts into the constitutional issue or electoral act or the party constitution, Mr. President should look at this 8-point agenda and make a revise. The issue of those that resign, it borders on moral. I am a human being. I am not a dog. It's only dog that vomit and go back to eat it. Whether the president said they should come back or not, I didn't see it as a struggle. But it borders on their integrity. It will be so wrong. Their children will be watching them. After resigning, they will not go back. What is your integrity?
Now,
for
Chief,
those...
Allow me to interrupt you briefly,
yes,
please.
Sir.
Now, in his Christmas Day message...
I stop.
Thank you. Now, in his Christmas Day message, Governor Fubara says the peace agreement is not a death sentence and that he will try to implement it in a way that will not compromise the interests of the people of Rivers State or compromise democratic values. Now, I'm wondering if you're comfortable with his plans. Are you convinced that the governor can actually implement this agreement while protecting democratic values and the interest of the people of Rivers State? Do you see this plan working?
You have said it. The governor said he will see how he can implement it so that it doesn't conflict the interests of Rivers State or the democracy. He's a governor. You can only have one governor at a time. You can't have two. Most of these people that are talking has not been a governor. That's where you see my emphasis is on the former governors. The governor is a human being. The governor has a boss. He can make a difference. If other former governors refuse to recognize their boss, he himself can make a difference. And if he doesn't make a difference, I don't know, some people call it law of karma. Tomorrow he will put somebody and the person will betray him. So the governor should see a way. Anyone that is not inflict in the Constitution or Electoral Act, he should carry on with it. But those ones borders in a constitutional matters, one need to be careful about it. He's the one wearing the shoe. He knows where he pinches him. Our own is to support. Our own is to put our voice. If he does well, we will clap hand for him. If he didn't do well, the next election is coming. The Rivers people will decide. Thank you.
Well, very good to have this discussion with you today. Thank you for coming in on Christmas Day. Thank you so much, Asukwe Ikoawaji. Have a wonderful rest of your Christmas Day.